Hey, Inspired Tribe, how's it going? Welcome to the Inspired live stream here on the Inspired channel. It is Monday, June 28th, 2021, WON, and we're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. My name is Jean Nolan. This is Kristin Nolan. Today, to the side of me, the wise voice behind the camera, and we're excited that you're here with us. We're a little early today. And we're in a different spot, as most of you can see. Those of you who've been with us for a while, this doesn't look like the regular setting that we're in. We're in a beautiful spot somewhere in Georgia, very beautiful. And we just felt like tuning in at a different time today, talking a little bit about what's been going on over the past live streams, how to move forward with this, and remind everyone in the tribe that we are healthy, we are wealthy, we are whole, and we're free. That is our mantra. And I'm just going to wait for a few people to jump on here before we dive into it. I want to welcome all new members of the Inspired Tribe. For those who are tuning in for, the first time or just getting started, this is a very open, loving, kind, beautiful, inspired tribe, and you get to be a part of it just by being here. There's no membership fee. There's no form to fill out. There's no dues to be paid. Nothing like that. You just show up, and if you are open and willing, and maybe you want to introduce yourself in the live chat, maybe join one of our Telegram groups. As a matter of fact, I will do this here. I will share with you a link, and you can then find out our Telegram groups and chat and whatnot. I put it up here, and I'll pin it. And this is the link tree, the Inspired link tree. So you have all the links, everything you need, all things inspired in one place. And then you can join our Telegram group and our Telegram. There's a specific Inspired Tribe Telegram chat. And that chat was established so you guys can talk amongst each other, share inspiring stuff, if you have questions, anything really on your journey, so you can connect with like-minded and like-hearted people. Hey, Raina from Dallas. Good to see you guys. So for those who've been in the past live streams, we've talked about the rabbit holes over the past two live streams. And every now and then we go deep into a rabbit hole of truth, of course. And as we always emphasize, for us, it's very important to understand, to know the truth about things, to know how the world has been working. But then what do you do with that? Because what we see a lot of times is that people get so caught up with the research, and they dive in deeper, and they forget their heart, they forget their vibration, they forget their spirit, they forget in what state they're in. And then they lose themselves, and they find themselves in a place of frustration. And that's really not the point at all. As a matter of fact, if you're going to, over the past two live streams, we have discovered or kind of explored the topics of sovereignty, how it really works, how we're tied as human beings to this system on the outside. And it was our intention to just show a path so you can understand things better. Because one thing that we have learned is, as soon as someone understands something, the shift is easy. As long as you're in a state of haze and confusion, it's hard to shift. It's hard to create change. But as soon as you understand, even understanding yourself, if you understand why you're having a certain pattern in your life, why you're behaving in a certain way, or why things keep coming up for you, you can shift. You then, because this understanding brings clarity, clarity brings energy, energy brings shifts. And that's what the truth seeking is about. But a lot of times the truth seekers are so wrapped up in that they forget about balancing their hearts, balancing their spirits. And as a matter of fact, we would say, flip the whole script here. Begin with the heart, begin with the soul. Find ways to first ground yourself. And what does that mean? When we're grounded, when we have our feet planted on the ground, we're connected with Mother Earth. Mother Earth, in her nature, is truth. So when we have our feet planted on the ground, when we are grounded, we're connected with truth. When we open our hearts, we're connected with the Great Father, with the Spirit. And so we have a beautiful connection and a beautiful cycle of truth. If we go into anything we do with that energy, anything in our lives, whether it's truth seeking or any other thing in our lives, we get to actually stay pretty balanced while we do these things. And there are some harsh truths out there. I mean, harsh truths in the physical reality that a lot of people did not know about, or did not want to know about, were never told, stuff like that. But what do we do with this? And this is really important. And I want to, before I really directly answer the question, I want to ask you something, whether you are a parent, whether you not a parent yet, maybe you have, maybe you are, I mean, you are a child of someone, of course, but maybe you've experienced this from either side of that coin. Have you noticed how in the past 5, 6, 7 decades, from observation and from being around, children have more than ever left their families? Why do young adults, very young adults, sometimes even non-adults, leave their homes, leave their parents, even if their parents are, you would say good, decent parents, not abusive or anything like that? Why does this happen on such a massive scale? Why is there such a breakup in the families? And there is a program for that too, but there's something deeper in the soul that happens, which will answer the question from earlier. Children leave their parents mostly because there's an inner soul disappointment happening. They can't really put words to it, but there's an image that we have. Every soul that comes to this planet, you look at your parents as someone who, they have the solution. They are good. What actions and decisions they take and make are good, and they are supposed to be leaders, and they're supposed to be the light. But so often, as we grow up, as we get older, we wonder, we look at this planet, we look at what's going on, we look at the things that are going wrong, and especially in the teenage years, it's not that we lose the passion, but we are very passionate, even more than passionate, even sometimes aggressive about these things. We go, why is there so much pain and suffering in the world? Why is there hunger? Why is there pollution? Why are there all these things? And then our soul connects the dots and says, well, what are my parents doing? They've been here longer than I. Why are they not doing anything about this? Why are they not out changing the world? Why didn't they create a better place for me? This happens on a soul level. Most people don't do this consciously. It happens subconsciously. And they lose this, this universal faith in their elders, in their parents, which there's a justification for that. Don't get me wrong. We need to ask ourselves, why has profit, why have the comforts of our modern life become more important than actually creating a beautiful space in this world for our children and the next generations? So a lot of parents, a lot of children are disillusioned, again, more on a subconscious level than a conscious level. And they have been told and taught by their parents to be good, to do the right thing, to make positive decisions. But then they look at their parents' lives and say, well, yeah, you might have accomplished, have success in your business or whatever, and you bought a house, and that's all good and well. But what are you doing to create change on this planet? And so a lot of this disillusionment comes from this realization. And on the flip side, families are coming together now, also again reuniting and reconnecting in stronger ways with a common vision. And that's really what this is about. When we understand what's happening on this planet, when we understand what's been going on, what's been going wrong, what we have been doing as humanity, we have a choice. We can either, just resign and sink in this feeling of resignation, say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. We can continue to go down the same path as we have, which is not an option for us. Or we can come together for a united vision and see what can we actually change and create. And this has been happening on a massive scale. And so for all the truth seekers, it is important to understand, to be aware. But then what do you do with that awareness? How do we flip the switch? How do we change things? And it is important to have and create a vision. Otherwise, we're just running in a new rat race where we are a little bit of here, a little bit of there. And we need to, it's our time to develop and join visions that have longevity, that are looking at changing systems, at changing belief systems, at breaking up the current story and infusing it with truth, authenticity, love, and something that is worthwhile. And so Kristina and I have been truth seekers most our lives. We have pretty much never spent much time in the box, always been outside of the box, never really believed in the box. And we have been looking and searching. We've been connected with many people, many movements, groups across the planet over the years. This is something that happens constantly. People bring new movements and groups to us, want us to join, ask us if we want to participate. And we love that there's so much happening, but we are also very, we use discrimination in a positive sense, which means we really look at the movements critically and see if they're aligned with what we believe, what we think, and what we see as the vision for the future or a future. And nothing has come even close to the vision of a woman that lives very secluded in the depths of the Siberian taiga. Her name is Anastasia, and she is if you will, the narrator in the books by Vladimir Megre in the Ringing Cedar books. And over the last 15 years, we have been introduced to so many visions, groups, movements, organizations, and nothing comes close to what she talks about in her books. And this is the vision we carry in our hearts. We always put the link to the books in the description here. And we're going to continue to talk more about the books, maybe even read from them. But we encourage you all to begin reading the first book. It's a series of 10 books, and to feel that her vision will probably align in many ways with what you already think and believe, and in other ways it will open up your heart completely. But if we look at visions, they must be holistic. If a vision is powerful and if it is sustainable for a long-term future, and we're talking hundreds and thousands of years, right? Then it needs to encompass everything. It needs to have the holistic view of the body, the mind, the spirit, planet Earth, God. Everything needs to be involved in that, and it's returning to a wisdom that has been maybe not completely lost, but very well hidden on this planet from most of the people. And it's now resurfacing, and we're just beginning to connect the dots again. And this is what I meant earlier. What do we do with the knowledge that we gather when we go down the rabbit holes, when we understand how the legal system works, politics work, finance works, science, medicine, religion, food industry? I mean, on the extremely dark side, how trafficking works, child trafficking, all those things, horrible things that are incomprehensible. If you live within this mainstream box, and suddenly your eyes are open to some of the truths that are happening on our planet, it is truly, it is sometimes heart shattering. And that's why we said that you have to find a balance, because if you become jaded, dark yourself because of these truths, you are of no value to yourself and your own enlightenment, and you're of no value to the change on the planet, because you're just lost in that pain. And that does require grounding. It does require practices. It does require spending time in nature with yourself, in silence, in meditation, in prayer, and truly putting your attention, putting your focus on this eternal connection. There's wisdom, there's reassurance, there's love, there's power that comes from that, and a kind of power, a kind of love that you cannot really find in the human realm in that unconditional way. And so we don't want to create the image that all you need to do is research all day and just find out these truths and get kind of shocked by the truths out there. To the contrary, become aware of what life you have been living, and then join a vision, create a vision, become that version of yourself that you're uncovering. And that's really everything that has happened. Some people say, well, I need to become someone new. And this is partially true, but really the someone new is the true you. And that's what people forget. The true you has always been there. It's people think when they say, I really need to change myself, what that really means is I need to take off all the dust, wipe off all the dust, and take off all the covers and all the blankets and everything else that I've covered my true self with. Because you have an authentic, true, unique self that's always been there. And it's just waiting. It's just waiting for this human you, this kind of isolated, disconnected you to uncover that again, connect with that part of you again. And this necessity is usually the driver. And people oftentimes they don't want to hear that, but look at your life. When are you most excited about creating change? When do you feel you have the greatest motivation, inspiration? It's when necessity is there. It means something is going either so terribly wrong in your life, or something is so painful, something is so unbearable that you simply cannot stand to be in that energy, in that state of living anymore. And that's when you usually have that the energy, the motivation, the inspiration to create change. Now, it's not necessary to get to that point, but most humans function still that way. I believe we're moving into a new way of living where pain and suffering won't be the only drivers. We believe we're moving into a state where you will get, the more you're connected, the more inspired thoughts you get. So then you create change out of pure inspiration rather than pain, suffering, and necessity. And that's what we're moving into. But even if right now pain, necessity is your driver, use it. Use it. You don't want to push that away. If that's what's happening in your life, that's going to be a great driver, because at first, all you want to do is avoid more of that pain. And that's okay. That is a driver. If you take the first steps, you will move into a better state. And we at first we want to balance our hearts with what's going on in the world. But then our next step is, how do we bring light into the world, And for that, we have to be the light most of the time, if not all of the time. So it's really about creating a life and making choices that enhances the light within you and helps you uncover the true shining bright light that you are. And that's why we were looking for ways of living, ways of meditating, ways of eating, ways of breathing, ways of speaking, ways of thinking, ways of exercising that all help you bring out the true light. It's not so much about changing into something unknown. It is really changing into the true self that you were always meant to be. And those things happen when your life focus shifts from outside forces, from what is such and such doing, from all the happenings in the world and in your own life, and observing your physical reality all the time, to spending more time within you. And you'll discover things that you'll be like, has this really been here all my life? This understanding, this knowing, this deep feeling? Yeah, it's always been there. You just were too busy. Your mind was too occupied, too entertained, too constantly, bombarded with impulses. And so we need to shut that off, at least for a few hours a day. But I'd say for as much as you can, and just be more. Feel more, ground yourself more, walk in your bare feet on Mother Earth. It does something. If you go through the woods and take off your shoes, it does something to you. If you walk on a meadow and take off your shoes, it does something to you. For the life of me, I will not understand people that walk on the beach with shoes. It doesn't make any sense to me. Feel what's underneath you and feel what's above you, and you will feel what's within you. It's a beautiful connection. And so don't, if you look at the past live streams, we have gone pretty deep into some rabbit holes, but it was never to discourage. It was never to create fear or create panic. It was more to see that there's a place of empowerment and knowledge. But as so many beautiful teachers of the past and present have always said, knowledge is only power when you apply it, when you use it to change. And again, we can only point you to the Ringing Cedar books, the 10 best books we've ever read, and we keep rereading them. We've been rereading them for 10, 12 years now. As a matter of fact, there's always a copy handy that I'm reading, studying, applying, and adding my own force into that vision. It's such a beautiful vision, and it will lead to pure freedom for us individually and collectively. Just a beautiful vision.
We are not affiliated, or
oh yeah, we're not affiliated with the author or with the whoever sells the books, publishers, and we don't get a commission or anything. As a matter of fact, there is no such system for these books. There has never been marketing done on the books, and they've sold tens of millions of copies since the beginning of the writings in the late 90s. There is no marketing, and that's that kind of book. It just has that power that it doesn't need to be marketed. So no, we're not affiliated. We don't make any money off it. We're as always, we are only talking about promoting, if you will, encouraging you to discover things that we truly believe in. We never talk about things for the sole purpose of making a buck or for the sole purpose of selling something. That's absolutely not interesting to us. It's authenticity. And that's the name of the game, inspiration and authenticity. So we wanted to bring that message to you today. Love how you guys engage, comment, bring your own perspective, your uniqueness to it. And we encourage you all to connect with each other. Again, we have this beautiful Inspired Tribe chat on Telegram that we believe is the easiest tool you can type in. There are no gazillion little distractions on there, and you can start conversations, maybe exchange email addresses or phone numbers, whatever you'd like, so you can connect deeper. This is what the tribe is about. The tribe's about making connections across the planet, because we believe that the beauty in this digital connection, in addition to our local communities, is that we can actually connect like-minded, like-hearted people across the planet that share in a very similar vision, and that creates power everywhere on the planet. Whether you're in Bolivia and China, well, you might not be able to log on actually from China, but probably a lot of other Asian countries, Japan. I know we got people from Japan, South America, North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, wherever you are. You are a shining light there. And we always picture this. Look at the shine. Just imagine those shining dots across the planet that have an invisible thread that connects them, something that brings them together in the invisible realm where the real power is. There's no contrast. There's no pushback there. And that's where you get to create in the freest possible way. So tribe, that was a short and sweet message for today. And please, send us emails. I know we got suggestions for topics for the live streams. One was very interesting, actually. I want to bring that up. Someone asked, well, how do we get out of the cycle of karma and get done with it rather than come back for hundreds or thousands of lifetimes? Which, it's a pretty good question, given that we've been here. We've come here many, many times, both Kristin and I, and we've shared some of our visions for the future before. So that's a good topic if you would be interested. The cycle of karma, just as a quick overview, we're not going to dive into it today, but what karma really means is that as long as there's an active, unresolved vibration in your spirit, you're going to have to move into experiences that give you the opportunity to resolve it. So that really is the gist of it. What you send out, you get back. Once that is resolved, you're basically free from the cycle of karma, which means you're truly free not to incarnate if you don't want to. Now, there's more depth to it. There's a bigger picture to it, but that's the gist of it. And we believe that's an interesting topic. And if you're interested, let us know in the live chat or in the comments, and we might actually dive into it. Before today, go out in nature, take a walk, ground yourself, connect, and know that you have such a tremendous power. And that's really what I want to close on today. You have such a tremendous power, and it doesn't require me to see you in person. I don't have to see you in person. I can feel your presence. Actually, this technology cannot interfere with what's coming through. And that's such a powerful presence that's hidden underneath the life stories, underneath the programs, underneath the belief systems that we've all been exposed to. But there's such a powerful you, such a beautiful light, such a unique expression, something that the world not just needs, but it craves. It wants to feel your expression. The Great Spirit wants that, Mother Earth wants it, and the human beings, whether they say that consciously or not. But when you begin to express yourself in that way, you are such a powerful force of change. And you don't even have to do as much as you think you have to do. It's just your presence that then creates such a big shift in energy. And we just want to encourage you and actually walk away with I'm going to ask you two questions, two what if questions. And what if questions, our coaches, junior coaches in the Inspire Coaching Academy know this. What if questions are extremely powerful. They open up the universe of possibility. I'm going to ask you two questions. One was a thought that I've been walking with, and the next was a thought that Kristin has been walking with. And these two thoughts were connected. What if, from time to time, people walk on this planet that have such a pure consciousness, awareness, such a pure spirit. Like, for example, the example of the Christ, of Jesus. And let's take away the religious attachments that people have given. Let's just take the life story of someone like Jesus that walked on this earth and had such a pure light, such a pure consciousness and awareness that his presence is not just still felt, it is still being lived. And what do I mean by that? And that's the what if question. What if Jesus was really about touching, truly touching as many lives as possible, because he infused this Christ consciousness, this enlightened consciousness into everyone he touched, and it became part of their being, part of their genetic code, part of their DNA. And what if, because so many lives were touched through the generations, through all those that came after them, this genetic and this DNA, this being, this awareness within us is still present. And if you think that this is a potential within you, if you believe that, which we do, and then if you believe, if you're going to look at the new science of epigenetics and look at the beautiful scientists and wonderful people that are bringing this knowledge out, then you know that you can activate this consciousness, even on a genetic level, on a DNA level, and actually bring this out. So what if Jesus touched so many lives? What if that consciousness is within all of us? And what if all we have to do is activate it? And then Kristin's question, which came so beautifully together with this, and we didn't talk about it. She said the one thing, I said the other thing, and they just fit together perfectly. What if the currency of the future is not paper bills, not plastic cards, is not ones and zeros on a screen? What if the currency of the future is wisdom? What if the currency of the future is wisdom? And now bring these pieces together. What if you have the Christ consciousness, the enlightened consciousness within you that you can activate? And what if the currency of the future is wisdom, which makes you a very, very, very wealthy human being, extremely wealthy, which would make you more wealthy than all of the physical gold, diamond, money, wealth combined in the world today. And when we say people like Jesus Christ to walk like that, we believe this beautiful woman in the Siberian taiga, Anastasia, has such a pure consciousness as well. And she too is touching millions of lives. So these truths, these epiphanies sometimes, if you will, flashes, they're not as tangible as people would want them to be. You can't touch them as much, but they're more powerful than the things that you can touch. They touch the soul, they touch the heart, they inspire. And that's truly the vision for the future. So think about that. Just see if this resonates with you. What if the currency of the future is wisdom? What if you would center your life around that striving, around that vision, to truly rediscover wisdom, gather wisdom, Live wisdom. What would you pass on to the next generation? What would you pass on to your children, your grandchildren, to the people around you? What a powerful way to live. We believe that. I truly believe as soon as Kristin brought that up in such a tangible, beautiful, seeable, feelable form, what if the currency of the future is wisdom? It became clear to me that's what it's going to be. The currency of the future is wisdom. And we're now laying the groundwork. So tribe, thank you for joining us today a little earlier, spontaneously. We'll let you know when we will be back tomorrow. This week is a little spontaneous. We're traveling. We're in beautiful Georgia, out in nature, out with the animals, enjoying. And we love you all deeply. Something you need to know, the Inspired Tribe means so much to us. We walk with so much love for you and inspiration. So tribe, be abundantly blessed. We'll see you again. Just look at the Telegram channel, look at Facebook or on here, and we'll let you know when the next live stream's happening. We'll be back to regular scheduling next week. But until then, be abundantly blessed and share your light.